name's Khan. I'm on Real Talk with the Realest.
My boy Khan, man.
What's going on, man?
How you doing, Brody?
I'm chilling, man. I'm feeling good.
Man, so for the folks that don't know you, because, I already know you a little bit. I went to school with you, some more. So let's get a little bit more about your background. So, where are you from, man?
I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. I'm from North Nashville. Born and raised. Went to middle school, high school, college. Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay. So, how was it like growing up out here in Nashville?
I mean, pretty peaceful. You feel me? I mean, it's like a upcoming city, so it's more like it's a lot different than it was growing up. Like there's a lot more people, a lot more action going on, like just a lot more crazy stuff going on, like bombs, and it's just a lot different than it was back then, like when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that whole bombing stuff is crazy. You think that like has anything to do with like the gentrification stuff that's going on?
The bombing, I don't know. I think white folks just crazy. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. But...
No, you good, bro. But back onto that. So you've been here for a while. So you've seen like the changes and stuff that your city's going through. So could you speak a little bit on that?
Nashville, it's just been like I know North Nashville was really black. Back when I was a kid, like it was all black, and when gentrification started going on, they started tearing down all the buildings, started basically moving everyone out of North Nashville because it's closer to downtown. Mm-hmm. So it's just a lot of bullshit going on in Nashville, especially when it comes to how they treat people of color. But we gonna handle it one of these days.
I feel you, bro. Man, so about like Nashville and everything. So you've been seeing like all the changes and things going on periodically through your life and everything. Like, what was something that kind of like impacted like your childhood? It was like, man, like I used to do that when I was a kid. Now I can't do it no more.
That's a good question. I mean, I wouldn't say there's really a lot of stuff there's a lot more stuff that you probably can do, especially since like when you start seeing like people running down the sidewalk with their dogs and stuff like that. I guess people be feeling safer around North Nashville as opposed to how it used to be. But I mean, guess that's a good thing. Is that a good thing?
So basically, like now it's kind of more of a more open environment, so people are more likely to, like, you can see them, like you just said, running their dogs, walking their dogs, out just walking
like
way more than used to.
Like they start putting bike lanes on like every street. Like they got they like doing reconstruction and stuff, trying to make it look real nice. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's better, quote unquote.
You think it's good for your city?
It's good for the city. It's just the way that they doing it is what's not good. It's kind of like if you're gonna try to up value on like property and try to move people out, you could at least give the folk like a livable space without kicking them out their like crib. You feel me? But everyone wants to have like a 2,000, 3,000 a month condo complex everywhere. So it's kind of like you ain't giving no one an opportunity to even stay where they originally are from.
Yeah, they are taxing for a living.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Crazy out here,
man. I'm apartment hunting right now.
Man, I already feel it, man. Good luck on the apartment search, because that's definitely hard out here. But no, so let's talk about your education and everything. So you went to TSU?
Yeah.
So what did you major in, man?
I'm actually a biology major, believe it or not. I wanted to be a doctor when I first got to college, and then I realized I don't like just going into classes and learning about that stuff. It's like that's not something I was really interested in. And then so I was going to change my major to political science, but then I took a political science class and I was like, nah, this ain't it either. And so then that's how I kind of gravitated towards the music for real.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So now that you kind of got into the music, so like, how has that been?
It's a slow grind, honestly. Like music's one of them things you gotta just do it out of the love for it, because it's like you never know when you'll hit a breaking point. Like you could be making some of the best music ever, if no one listening to it, it's like it does. If you don't have like the marketing, if you're not actively trying to get better at everything every day, it's like it can be really hard.
I understand that too. The marketing part behind the music is hard. It's like really a strategic game.
It really is.
Yeah. So like, so what? Right now you just dropped Pastel, your project.
Yeah, Pastel, 9-song project. Worked on that. The first word I wrote on Pastel was like in 2019 when I just started. Like I was just like, okay, I'm gonna start rapping for real. And then like school went by and just a whole bunch of stuff started. A whole bunch of stuff happened in my life, and eventually I got to the point where finally I was able to make it in the way that I wanted to make it. So it's kind of, I had the songs like from 2019, 2020, but then I finally was able to put it all together in 2021.
Yeah, that's actually dope. You know, it's not you're not supposed to be able to just put a project out that quick. So like you saying that it took you from 2019 to now to put that out shows like you put time and actual
Yeah.
energy into your projects.
Yeah, I mean that's all. I mean that's kind of like when I'm gone, that's like the legacy I'm gonna leave behind. So it's kind of like, even though I know it's not gonna be necessarily perfect off rip, it's like I know if I keep getting better at it, it's gonna eventually. That's what I'm gonna leave behind. So I gotta take my time.
Was that something that you struggled with in the beginning?
Oh, that's crazy because honestly, it's like when I go, it's weird because it's like as you try to perfect your craft and then you start looking back at how you used to do something, it's almost like, dang, you didn't even know you weren't that good. But now that you're 2 years further in, you're like, dang, I was okay, but I'm definitely better than I could. There was room for improvement. You feel me? So it's like as you start to get better at something, it's just when you look back, you're like, dang, like I for sure been putting in the work to try to get better at whatever it is I'm trying to get better at. I damn near forgot the question.
You did, bro. So basically, if you were to compare like your first single to one of your favorites off of the Pastel project, how big of a change would you say there is?
You said one of my like passing
like your first single, because I know it wasn't on Pastel. So like your first single that you started pushing out compared to the project you just pushed out, one of the singles on there.
The first like single I dropped by myself was called 1231, and I dropped it on like December 31st, 2019. And I be listening back to it, and it's like, dang, like I was really. It's like listening to your old words and like how you used to perceive things. It can really like ground you and bring you back to like where you were back then. Like, dang, like you are like you can get into a habit of trying to rush things, especially when you want to be successful. It's like you just want everything to just go on immediately. But I know from that track, I was just like, I listened to it like, dang, my 19-year-old me had like a lot more, not a lot more sense, but just be reminding me of stuff like that I should have, I guess, kept in my head. But you can often forget when you're just trying to get something. You feel me? But comparing that to now, I'm definitely rap better than I did. Like when I listen to that, I'm like choppy, and it's like I'm just trying to get out the words. And now I'm like 2 years in Pastel. It's like, okay, you actually developed like a flow. You know, you developed like rapping isn't something you can just pick up, and people think that's just something you can start and just be good at it. But now you got to put in that time because there's levels to it. Like, and then you see like the people who've been rapping for 10 years, 20 years, like Lil Wayne, Hove, like people who just been rapping damn near half their life. It's like you can see like that seasoned flow ain't just come from like nowhere. It came from them just keep putting that time in
and working. No, I feel that, man. So when you're talking about like you rap better and everything now, and like how it started to work, was there any like things that you had to do like research wise, like looking up different grammar techniques or reading like the actual literature and stuff, like to actually change up your flow or your style?
To me, something I do often is just like listen to rap. But when I'm listening to it, it's kind of more of it's like I'm trying to hear how they like how they come onto the track, like on the count, like 1, 2, 3, 4, like how they hopping on the beat. And it's like you got all these rhyme schemes and then cadences, and someone may come in and be like, my name is Bob, and I got a job. But then you're like, how can I spice that up? You'd be like, my name is Bob, I ain't trying to front, trying to hunt, and I got a job. Like you just trying to add like it's like piecing stuff together. It's like just practically about having fun with it and trying to be as creative. But at the same time, when you listening to these rappers and you listening to like how they come on the floor and how they rhyme, it's just like you gotta study it. You gotta take notes and be like, okay, like when I listen to Kendrick Lamar, I'll be like, dog, like this dude just going crazy right now. But there's a reason why I think he's going crazy. Let me figure out why it is I think he's going crazy right now, just based off of how he's rapping, rhyming, and flowing.
It makes sense. So you kind of like sit there and like study other artists' kind of flows and see how they're putting stuff together.
Basically.
That makes sense, and that's kind of what everybody's do. You know, kind of taking what's done before for somebody and kind of figuring out how to put your own touch on it.
Yeah, it's just a process. Because at the same time, you don't want to, I guess you could say, bite someone's flow, but at the same time, it's like everyone gonna have they influences in they like rhyme. Like no one just was born just like I just know how to rap. So it's like everyone has their own influences, but you want to make it your own. You don't want it to sound like someone else just because he killed that song. Let me try to rap like him. Then people are gonna be like, nah, he biting someone's flow. He's biting somebody.
Right, and your music is definitely like kind of more on the spoken. It actually has like a story behind it. So like, who are some of the people that influenced you to get on that type of rap flow style?
Some of my biggest influences gotta be like Andre 3000 and Kendrick Lamar, of course, and then even like people like MF Doom and Earl Sweatshirt, just people who were real like wordy in how they approach like a song. So I guess that's kind of, but at the same time they don't sometimes some people like some artists like Earl Sweatshirt, he may just go the whole album just being real wordy and just putting a whole bunch of lyrics on the track, and then it's kind of on the quiet here, while people like Andre 3000 do the same thing, but it will always sound good. Like he can put as many words as he wants to, but it will always just flow. So it's kind of like there's levels to it, or not even necessarily levels, just different ways to approach different style.
Understandable. So is there any impact, or actually, like any impact you are planning to leave? Like, what are you trying to leave in this game?
Let me think about that. 2 seconds. Honestly, I just want people to like look at my story and be like, you can really do anything you put your mind to, and like, and of course I want to be like one of the best rappers to ever live. So it's like I want people to be able to say that too,
right?
Along with you can do whatever, but it's kind of like you don't have to portray a certain image, or you feel me, be from a certain place to have an impact on like rap and hip hop and the culture. You feel me?
Feel that, man. I feel that. That's actually dope, man. You sound like very knowledgeable about what you're doing, your history and the music and everything, bro. That's actually dope, bro.
I try.
Are there any special shout outs or anything you want to give out before we get you in the booth?
Oh yeah. Shout out to my boy JU. Shout out to my boy FSOE Bands. Shout out to the Ville for real. I'm about to just shout out hold on. Shout out to yours truly, Jay. Shout out to Ashley. Shout out to Herm. Shout out to Fresh. Shout out to everyone who's ever fucked with me. Shout out to Cole. Like anyone who's ever, you feel me? Just all my people who's helped me get to this point so far. Shout out to you, and shout out to my little cuz. You know who you are.
Man, that's real, bro. I love that you got this list of supporters, man. That's dope, man. But let's go ahead and get you up in the booth, bro. We definitely ready to go ahead and hear that, bro.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Baby, tell me what you wanna be. People never try. That's why there's so many wannabes. That's my mistake. I thought you wanted me. So I wasted too much time, got lost in astrology. But ain't the stars so beautiful? And don't the fog make the roads unusual? Ain't never did it, but I do it though. You never asked, so you wouldn't know. Ain't go to class and it didn't show. Feel like Kawhi when it's all on the line. Either a class act or I'm ahead of my time. Been on this shit since I was 5 and I learned how to rhyme. Can't be behind if I'm always ahead in my mind. Ooh. That's just game from a young nigga. Cause why you even counting age if your sum's bigger? And why you be expecting change if we all sinners? We all deranged, so it's all in us. One time for the Misfits. 2 times for the bad kids who turned out fine. 3 times for the people who gon' hit my line after they hear this shit. Hey. 1 time for the Misfits. 2 times for the bad kids who turned out fine. 3 times for the people who gon' hit my line after they hear this shit. Look, where do we go from here? In the valley of death, that's where I conquer my fear. Music making me deaf, but still I'm willing to hear. I can't take light of the threats, but still I gotta keep it pushing. Running out of cushion, I gotta see what life has all to offer. You voice your dreams and they mistake you for a talker, but really I'm just trying to find me a Miss Parker. Cause why the mama looking better than her daughter? Damn.
Man, you know you are dead wrong out here. Been around for about half a century looking like that. With the edges slicked down and your sundress on, and you know you could have told your daughter where you got that from. Hey, time to hook back on.